Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for May 11th, Wednesday, May 11th, 2016, as we are in week 19 of the year. As always, please seek financial advice when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only. Support your knowledge in the market, see what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, here at TradingFibs.com, keeping a tally of the trading session focus for week 19. Looking at the stats for today, it was Wednesday. 3 markets, 3 setups for a total of, bring it up, 148 ticks. That's right, 3 setups, 1 apiece across the board. Make sure you check out the TradingFibs.com blog here for today's recap outlook video as soon as it is posted here on my website. There it is, trend of the session, market action. There was one small trend in the AM session, but really didn't get going there. As you can see, price action here to the downside, solid body tails all across. With a slight pullback, re-entry to the downside, market actually continued even a little bit further down as price closed out towards the end of the session. We'll see here in a couple minutes. But there it was, 4 charts in the red to the downside. What keeps you in the trend? There it is, only taking a piece of the pie on all 3 across to give those 148 ticks for the day. Multiple moving averages right there, T3 moving averages, and then the 5144. Here showing the ES multiple moving averages, Kiwi super trends, and Kiwi stops. Whatever your choice is, it's about letting your winners run. And what keeps you in the trade? There it is, Heikin Ashi bars and 5144s. The technical momentum to the red and to the downside for today's session. Taking a look at the econ data for today. What was it all about? Let's jump back. It was all about the crude there. And mortgage applications up. Crude, what a move on crude as the crude report came out. All 4 indices waiting for market action, and we got what we were waiting for. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's take a look at the AD line as price action, another market momentum. That's right, AD line to the downside. Price action again on the YM. That's right, the YM and the ES to the downside. Find a little bit of resistance here, and there it was. Price action popping down right there at post-lunch hour. That was the key right there as price action broke underneath the 10 EMA. It was all downside from there. All right, let's take a look at the 4 key markets that we follow. Let's start with the crude here as price action just in a waiting pattern. And there it is, 1030. Look at all those bars laid out. 1030 all the way here. Price action really lifted and kicked up the rest of the session here as the 50 held above the 144 and pretty much chiseled out in afternoon's price action. What keeps you in the trend? Well, throwing up lately a 50 EMA. That's right, just a 50 exponential moving average and a T3. A T3 set to a 50 EMA. It was all uptrend, and there it was towards the end of the session as price action held here at the T3 50 EMA. All right, taking a look at the let's take a look at the YM here. Price action again, morning session, waiting for that crude report to come out. The YM and the ES really showing the trend in sync with the AD line today. Price action again. Very slow momentum in the morning session here. Price action starting to migrate downwards here at the post 12 minutes of the market open. 4 charts in the red made for a good entry to the downside with price action now underneath the 5144. Crude report comes out, pop right there at 1030. And then the rest of the session, that's right, all you got to do is wait. Patience, guys. Again, first entry, not the best of entries, but 3 charts in the red right here to start to put you into the trend. There it was, pre-Euro close right there. Crossing over the 5144. And really, if you managed it well, it was all to the downside for the remainder of the session. But best of best entries is once that AD line, after that initial move up there on post-lunch hour, price action slowed down. You can see right here in the span of an hour almost here, didn't move much, but that sell signal downside, 4 charts in the red, 50 underneath 144, and the AD line to join you to the downside as it broke the 10 EMA to put you in the trend all the way down. And that was one of the setups for the session. Let's turn to the NQ price action again. This was one of the reasons not to go long. Well, you could go long. 4 charts in the green this morning. There it was. Price action just prior to the crude report. But again, you got an AD line downside. And then finally turning upside, which lifted price action, but not supporting the best of moves. But again, you got YM and ES coming down. You got the NQ going up. A little bit of divergence there. But trend is trend and ticks are ticks, and who knew what would win the trend award of the day? But there it was, 50 holding above 144. So nothing really wrong with this setup here, as all 4 charts in the green. So that truly was trend number 1 of the session. But eventually price action breaking downside. Not the best of setups on post crude. You'd only had 2 charts in the red. Here at 10:39 Eastern Standard Time, price action was still sitting above the 51.44. So hands off on this setup. Now, you look here, you have a setup here at top of the lunch hour. Now, this was the one in particular I was talking about. Let me come back here. Let me show you the AD line. So the AD line's up in the green. The advancers, decliners up in the green. Let's get that time frame there. There you are. There's around the 12 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time, and you got price action again set up to the downside, so you hold off. You want as many things in sync. So finally, eventually, AD line comes back down, post lunch hour right there, sell signal, and downside you run. T3 moving averages crossing over and 51.44 to hold you in. That's right. And on the picture again, bailing out around these lows here, but there it was, back to the downside. So 1, re-entry 2, and back to the downside for trend session number 3. All right, all in all, 4 trends on the NQ today. Very nice. All right, let's take a look at the ES final index here. Price action, very similar picture, except at the beginning of the market, sell signal downside with the 50 below the 144 here. T3 moving average pops up. There it is, crude report, and there she goes, back down. Again, not the best of setups with only 2 charts in sync. Lift up, and there it was. Sell signal to the downside. ES finding some traction for multiple re-entries here. As you can see, sell signal here. Again, re-entries, you got to be careful. Even though the momentum was very clear to the downside, 50 below 144, even can go to a higher time frame, but it's being able to manage your stop. You really don't want to sit in a 10-point stop. So you take the sell signal, you go for a shorter amount of ticks, and you hold on. As long as you can. If you're stopped out, you wait for your next signal. You just have to be patient there, Jedi traders. Or you just go with the bigger trend and just say, all right, look, my entry was up here. I'll just sit it out and wait it out. I got all 3 charts in the red. All right, I got a little bit of pullback. Nothing wrong with that. Really doesn't break the most recent swing size. And you stay in the trade all the way to the close. All right, let's take a look at the daily gaps here. Big picture on the daily gaps. Price action here again. The ES closing out that daily gap downside. You got to wonder, where's price action going if we're going downside? Well, the first thing you do is you look, do you have any daily gaps? Do you have any fib lines to contend with? And there it was. ES closing out 2058.75. So dashed line showing we took care of old business. And there it is. The YM coming downside. And the NQ managing to retrace downside, and the crude getting its rise back upside off the 23% retracement. Let's take a look at any volume profile. Again, we held up above fib projection. I'm sorry, not fib projection levels, holding above volume profile, 600-day VPOX. But retracing, closing out former VPOX. Here it is, NQ again, mostly a former picture of yesterday's session. Again, VPOX sitting downside, VPOX sitting upside on the crude as we just crude sideways. And there it is, same picture on the ES, and closing out not only the daily gap from yesterday, but the open gap, but also migrating down to that 600-day VPOC as well. Let's take a look at Fibonacci projection levels for the session. Did we close them out? Absolutely. Midnight open here, 43.8450 on the NQ. Midnight open, 17.806. And on the ES here, 2073.25. Did we migrate down and hit those targets? Absolutely, plus some. never migrating upside to the target highs throughout the session. There they are, target highs, target highs. All right, always keeping those targets in mind, though momentum is momentum. The idea is to keep those charts as clear as possible so that you're only watching momentum on the chart and not worried about any key levels. Just a basic knowledge of where you are. But if momentum is momentum and you hit one of those levels, oh well, let's see what happens at that level, whether it be the Globex high, Globex low, cam lines, or Fibonacci projection levels. It's a place that maybe you can manage a contract, but either way, those Fib projection levels out of a whole week tend to get hit maybe 4 out of 5 days. Let's take a look at the daily big pick here on the crude. Crude again flying upside here. T3 moving averages crossing upside and already an uptrend, which we had a pullback last week. Coming off the 23% retracement, holding above the 50 and the 200 period moving average with volume increasing towards that 60-day average. Let's take a look at the 3 indices here. 50 above 200 on the NQ here. Price rejection on the NQ right here at the 200. And reject at the 144 as we already struggled at the 50. Struggles here at the 144. Comes back and bang, right to the 50 EMA. So if you go back to that daily trend for the NQ together with the open gaps, well, open, non-open gaps on the NQ. I apologize. Let's go to the ES. I was looking at the ES there. Let's go back to the ES. So again, here we are on the ES. Price action again pulls back on the ES here, 51.44. So one of the targets downside that you would start to look at, both on the daily trend, is to keep you in the trade. Not only the multiple moving average studies and just the fact the Heikin-Ashi bar and multiple charts in the red, but you're also keeping your eye on that daily target down below, or daily open gap, 2058.75. All right, so NQ reject here at the 200 period moving average. Rejects at the 144 EMA. As we had mentioned yesterday, we were looking for price action to perhaps either break through or obvious resistance here at the 250, and likewise overnight session pushes it up and reject back down to the 50 EMA. So again, while we just mentioned the ES, what are you looking for the downside? Well, if the daily trend on the NQ, let's go back, NQ is keeping you in the trend to the downside. There it was, downside level around 43.52, and you're looking at your 50 period moving average, and there it was, 43.52. Another sense to keep you in the trend. Again, at the end of the day, it's only a moving average, it's only a line, but if momentum's there, you got 3 charts in the red, you got a small pullback to put you back into 4 charts in the red, you stay on it as long as possible, or just look for a piece of the pie. Here we go, ES again, just mentioning downside. Again, we're looking ahead to tomorrow. By the way, on the NQ, we'll see if we get that support on the overnight 50 EMA. If we break that 50 EMA, look for NQ to follow through downside, as we are already in a downward trend, but on a pullback. Same picture on the ES. Look for follow through on the 144 50 EMA to see if we can go back down in a downward trend. Just look for the T3 moving averages. Go red again. And it's the YM here. Breaking through to that 51.44 on a 4-hour chart. We'll watch the overnight action, but price action breaking back downside. We'll watch for the T3 moving averages. I'm sorry, the 51.44, not the T3, the 51.44 to go back red on the overnight session. That will confirm our pullback is no more and back in a downward trend. Again, volume not too bad today, meeting the average volume just slightly under the 60-day average. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow, we talked about the all week. It's really about Friday with multiple data coming out, consumer sentiment, retail sales, but we got jobless claims in the morning, so that can move our market as well, consumer confident, and multiple Fed speakers to fill the day, so that might be a mover as well. All right, Jedi traders, that is a conclusion and wrap for the daily trend. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com or any of my social media outlets to obtain more information. You want to check out my trading session focus, including the futures, ETF, and market cap leaders, where every day, every weekend, I go ahead and I do a recap on the market, including the a variety of different indices, market cap leaders, industrials, FX pairs, and including a weekly supplemental, technical momentum outlook, 98 pages of fun that includes charts on a variety of those that I just showed you here using the Thinkorswim platform, which is also available on the Sierra charts, multiple moving averages, Heikin Ashi oscillators, as well as the T3 moving average and 5144 and 200 exponential and simple moving averages. So a lot of good information there, including videos as well. My trading mantra: one simple strategy, any market, any charting time frame will keep you disciplined. You can find me every day on Twitter at TradingFibs. And as always, I leave the crystal ball to the experts. I only trade what's in front of me and on my charts. And as always, leave your bias at the door when trading. Have yourselves a blue zone day, good night, and good trading.